Hello my lovelies and welcome to Lucy's Top 20 Women's CSGO Players of 2022. We're going to be going through all of the best players, in my opinion, of this last year. It's a two-parter. Obviously we've got our first video here, so numbers 20 through to 11. Then we'll have the top 10 coming up a little bit later in the week before the HLTV Awards show. Now, this video I did want to get out a little bit early. I wanted to put it out pre-Christmas, but unfortunately I got bronchitis, which was a whole thing. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm currently filming while on holiday in Australia in accommodations there. But I got my laptop here, got it all set up, and I really wanted to get this list out to you. So going to be going through all of the best players of the year. The numbers are going to be used, so it's going to be a little bit of objective backing there, but it is a subjective list, obviously based on my experience watching these players throughout the year, watching their demos, casting them, and then looking at kind of their numbers along the way as well. So we've used all obviously the LAN data from HLTV, but then some of the data from the online bits is a bit scrappy, but used it as a baseline. I had a spreadsheet where I was exporting demos into for season 1, and then Newt put together a fantastic dashboard, which I'd recommend checking out. Shout out to Newt for putting that one together, which I've also used for some of the numbers that you'll see on screen as I talk about the different players. But if you want a really objective by the numbers list, you want to be checking out femalecs.com's list. That'll be coming out at some point in the next couple of weeks. We'll be putting that one together. And that will definitely be a bit more me by the numbers. Mine might throw a few spanners into the works based on what I've seen this year, but well, you'll have to find out, won't you? So and before we jump in, also a little shout out to Icy, or big shout out I should say, to Icy, who edited all the little clips that you'll see throughout this top 20. Check her out, check out her channel, subscribe. She does these amazing ESL Impact frag movies, and you definitely don't want to miss those. So I've got through all the introductions. Without further ado, let's jump in to the top 20. Kicking off our list at number 20 is Hanka of Na'Vi Javelins. And Na'Vi Javelins have had both an amazing year and also a little bit of an unfortunate one, with two flawless 6-0 seasons within ESL Impact. Particularly notable in season 2, where they were in a group with Astralis, Bigger Keeper, and MVP, and they didn't drop a single series. But unfortunately, in both of those seasons, in our last best of 3 to qualify towards LAN, they weren't quite able to close it out. So didn't attend those 2 events, but Hanka was a big part of their online presence and also notably their LAN events. So ESL Impact Valencia was I'd say their biggest event of the year, where they were able to get to the semi-finals, where they fell against Furia, but Hanka was keeping toe-to-toe with Olga during that series, which I think is a massive testament to her as a player, as a rifler. And she also contributed significantly to their other LAN appearances throughout the year, such as the Girl Gamers Theatre Festival that they came second in, and the ISF World Championship, which they won. So I've been really impressed with what we've seen from Hanka over the year. Her form has only improved, particularly on LAN, which is hugely notable for such a young player. She's only 18, and I expect we're going to see a lot bigger things from her, maybe even in an event coming up very soon. So an exciting player to keep an eye on, Hanka coming in at number 20. At 19, we have Little Z, the AWPer of MIBR. While MIBR may not have a tale as tragic as Na'Vi, they had a similar year of strong online results but struggling in their qualification matches, falling to the B4 Demons, who were then Black Dragons, as well as Furia in Season 1 and Season 2 respectively. But they did get their revenge against B4 in the qualifiers for ESL Impact Valencia, where Little Z put on a heroic performance to get them there. And she was another star that absolutely shone on stage at Valencia. She was the third highest rated player with a HLTV rating of 1.37, but she also had the most clutches, the most opening kills, and the third highest impact rating. She was simply undeniable and pushed MIBR through to the semi-finals, where she actually out-fragged Anna despite losing the series 0-2. So I think that speaks volume to her as an individual, as an AWPer. And the only reason she's not higher on this list is, unfortunately, in the latter part of the year, her and the team have been struggling a little bit more. So hopefully 2023 will be a resurgence for the team and for Little Z, as she is one of the strongest AWPers to come out of South America. Number 18 is the Queen of Impact. Impact rating, of course. Jenny R of Big Keeper, one of the standout performers of the big squad this year, particularly on LAN, where she had bigger numbers than even online, with a 1.12 rating at Dallas and a 1.15 rating at Valencia. She was a key component also for the team qualifying for that Season 1 final, where she put a 1.35 rating up against the Na'Vi Javelins, and also pushing towards that semi-final placement in Season 1. She also posted the highest opening duel success rate at that event with an absurd 71%. But really, a special shout out must be made for her performance against Nigma Galaxy in that semi-final, where she demolished them on Ancient, and Bigger Keeper remain one of just 2 teams that has taken a map off Nigma Galaxy on LAN. Now, at the tail end of the year, the roster did undergo some changes in roles as well as players, and unfortunately they narrowly missed out on that spot at ESL Impact Katowice, so unfortunately they won't be seeing them at that event, but I'm sure that 2023 will bring big things for the big squad, and especially for Jenny R. No top 20 list could be complete without Goose Breeder of CLG Red, a veritable icon of the women's Counter-Strike scene, not just in North America, but in the world. It's hard to deny the impact that she has had both in and out of the server. A consistent player domestically, where she actually improved her rating between Season 1 and Season 2, despite the roster changes that brought in some serious firepower to the squad. And she was also a good performer on LAN, particularly at Dallas and at Valencia. But a big note has to be made of leading a team that underwent a complete roster change this year, keeping only 2 of the original players going fully international, with all the struggles that entails, like tryouts, visas, and, well, 150 ping offers. So she and Coach Flashy made it work. And the new look CLG Red is a team that I can honestly see taking trophies in 2023 under the leadership of Goose Breeder. Their first LAN looked good, and I expect the next one will look even better. So hats off to the GOAT. Or should I say, the Goose.
Oh, what a shot! disgusting quad kill.
At number 16, we have our second Na'Vi Javelins player, none other than their star rifler, Angelika. Although, much like Kesarado and Yuri are the fangs of Furia, Angelika and Hunka are the spearheads of the Na'Vi Javelins. Angelika comes in at number 16 off the back of her fantastic online ESL Impact showings, as well as strong LAN performances at Valencia, as well as the Girl Gamer Theatre Festival. And in fact, she's improved event on event throughout the year. And it'd be reasonable to say that she demolished Nine Pandas Fearless to qualify for ESL Impact Katowice, a terrifying form for her to be in, particularly as she'll be going on her home stage in front of a home crowd next month. So Angelika, definitely one of the strongest riflers we've seen in Europe this year, and a player to continue to keep an eye on. Coming in at number 15 is Mads of CLG Red. Now, when I started putting this list together, Mads wasn't a player that immediately came to mind to me to the top 20, but what she's achieved this year is simply undeniable. Starting out the year under Please Send Help, where she was a linchpin in their success in Season 1, as their highest rated performer both online and on LAN, where amazingly she almost outperformed CLG Red's highest rated player despite their team placing much lower at the event. But her real highlights have been since that move to CLG Red, which has seen her maintain a similar level despite being surrounded by much higher level players. So really impressive, and honestly her move to CLG Red might have been the single most wide-reaching move to happen within North America, as the Please Send Help team, which is now EG Gold, lost the heaviest hitter to their biggest opponent, further widening the gap between the top of NA and the rest of the field. So expect to see even more from Mads in 2023 as the team continues to develop as a unit and she continues to develop as a player. At number 14, we have GFI of HSG, superstar rifler, mistress of the Negev, and the angel of Asian Counter-Strike, who stole everyone's hearts at ESL Impact Season 2 finals. Honestly, it pains me not to place her higher on this list, but to be completely holistic, and the competition is very fierce. So, well, GFI, she did get us all excited in that opening match against Enigma Galaxy, where she clutched her way to winning out the half. They couldn't quite close it out, but then they went on to put on the most dominant performance that we've saw at the finals with a 16-1 victory over EG Gold to eliminate them. And then gave us the most exciting series of the whole event, where they took down CLG Red, the newly formed super team. And she led HSG all the way to that top 4 and was the third highest rated player not from Enigma Galaxy. Not to mention, they also won every single Cash Cup they entered in their region. So, you know, under GFI's leadership, HSG have established themselves firmly as the best team from their region and one of the best in the world. But not only is she a phenomenal player, but she's just an amazing person. The interview that she gave at those Season 2 finals, I think, moved quite a few people. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, in the green room, let me tell you. And I can't wait to see what GFI and HSG can show us in 2023. number 13, we have Bibian of CLG Red, another player close to my heart as a fellow Aussie, and also an incredibly impressive player, one of the best riflers we've seen break through in 2022. And in fact, she was the second highest rated player at the ESL Impact Season 2 finals, despite her team not even making it to the top 4. But numbers aside, I think what's most impressive about Bibian has been her journey throughout this year. You know, she'd already been in the scene for a few years, even playing at international events before, but this year was her breakout year. She was by and far the strongest player in Mind Freak, which was the Oceanic team that played in Season 1 finals and at Valencia, where they actually qualified through the NA qualifier spot, so get good NA, I guess. But despite the Aussies not placing as well as they'd hoped individually, she really shone. Enough so that CLG Red gave her the opportunity to join them in their rebuild, where she has become their clear star rifler. And honestly, to make the decision at 19 at the time to move to the other side of the world to pursue the dream of being a professional CSGO player is hugely inspiring. And the numbers all back up that she's made the right decision. She is straight up the best performer during the online stage of ESL Impact, and that was across all regions. She's an absolute beast on LAN, and I think she's more than earned her spot in the list, and I'd wager that maybe next year we'll see her in the top 5 if CLG Red can get themselves into a couple of grand finals. At number 12, we have Younger of the B4 Demons, who is, in my opinion, the most consistent AWPer in South America. Incredibly talented, a very flashy player with high multi-kill potential, she fits perfectly into the playstyle of South American women's Counter-Strike. And that's why she's placed here and not higher, because, don't get me wrong, I really rate B4 and Younger as an AWPer, but the way the South American teams play Counter-Strike is very rifle focused. It's so much more aggressive. And it's the same story we see in the men's team. You know, with Furia, Safe isn't the star player. It's the 2 riflers that are. And that's what makes Younger stand out amongst these South American teams, because she's able to find the impact that she needs despite the style of Counter-Strike being played not really focused around the AWP and her. So really impressive with what we've seen from her this year. And importantly, as mentioned, she's incredibly consistent, including on LAN, hitting the shots she needs to and winning the duels that she needs to, which is exactly what you want from your AWPer. So she comes in here at number 12. Coming in at number 11, our final player of part 1 of our top 20 is none other than one of Furia's finest, Gabby. It often feels like the other riflers of Furia are in the shadows of a particular player who you know that we'll be getting to, but Gabby is more than happy to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight. And I think the Season 2 finals of ESL Impact were a great example of this, where, as Bardolph dubbed her, Gabzilla absolutely wreaked havoc on HSG in the semi-finals. And she's been a consistent force in Furia's fantastic year, stepping up in her role as the 2 in the 1-2 punch, the second fang of Furia, Faye, and she does so with style. And to do what she does so consistently over so many years is a testament to who Gabby is as a player. I mean, we're talking about a talent who was named as the top South American player in 2017, 2018, and she's still in her prime. The competition has maybe just gotten a little bit fiercer, but Gabby rounds out part 1 of our top 20 at number 11. And that concludes our first half of the top 20 women's CSGO players of 2022. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with the players that I have included. This list, as mentioned, completely subjective, so I want to hear your thoughts on the matter. And of course, we'll have the top 10 coming up later in the week. We'll be getting into the real tofu and potatoes of it as we dive into the top 10 players of the year. So make sure you hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all the people in the comments as mentioned in the intro, chuck them a follow, and we'll see you a little bit later for those top 10 players. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.